Namo Dasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Dasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Dasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa.
So Sayadaw,
Yes.
before you start in the class, may I ask a question about the Ucheda DT?
Yeah.
So I read the Sayadaw Nikaya.
Mm-hmm.
So it mentions if the bhikkhu, because the Buddha said Udana Udanesi and no jasa no jamesiya na bhavisa na me bhavisati. So even adi mujamano bhikkhu chindeya oram bhagiyani sayojanani di. So this actually no jasa no jamesiya na bhavisa na me bhavisati. I checked another place in Sayadaw Nikaya. It actually is one kind of ucheda ditti. So as we studied, ucheda like ditti, when they reach to the Sotapatti Magga, they already cut off the ditti. But here the mention is Oram Bhagiya Sayojanani. So that means this should be the Anagami Magga. I'm a little bit confused about this.
Oram Bhagiya.
Yeah.
Right.
When we say Oram Bhagiya, actually the lower five, the Sayojana, right?
Lower.
Yeah.
Lower Sayojana.
Yeah, because the commentary mentioned the Panja, the lower five of Panja Sayojana. But
Yes.
as we know, the Sotapatti Magga already cut off the DT.
DT with, yeah.
So how can we know in this point? I really like confused.
Oram Bhagiya Sayojana.
Yeah.
Sotapatti Magga. Can you tell me what are the 5 Oram Bhagiya Sayojana?
Micha DT.
Yeah, DT.
The DT and Shilabada Baramasa.
Yeah.
Shilabada Baramasa. What is it? When Lord 5? I couldn't remember the name this moment.
Yeah. So there are deities, right?
Yes.
So Sotapatti Magga totally abandoned deity in Vichikecha.
Yeah, Vijikija also.
But and also at the same time Sotapatti Magga how to say lessen, okay, lessen the serious another sayojanas which are very serious and also leading to the woeful states. Okay, they are deity dosa. Okay, dosa. Okay, dosa sayojana. And also, dosa sayojana. So, but in the Sakadagami, also they cannot abandon totally. Another thing is what? Didikada Sotapatti Magga also lessen not only the dosa, but also the mana also, right? Mana sayojana also.
It's Mana or Udaja. This.
Yeah. They whatever Udaja is no problem. Udaja leave it for the later part. The for the deity Vijikeja they abandon. Okay, Sotapatti Magga to Delhi. But the another do mana and also what dosa. So Sotapatti Magga lessons. So in that case, it means whatever it can lead to the woeful states. Okay, a lesson.
Yes.
Gada Naga also, they continue to lessen. Okay, in that case, continue to lessen mana and deity, right? And the anagami, at the point of anagami mega, they abandon these things, mana, dosa, okay. Isa machiriya also there, anagami point.
Actually, mana
So,
not
pardon?
in the anagami, the mana is not yet.
Mana not yet, yeah. Mana arahanda case.
Yeah. So I mean, my question here, actually, this talk about no jasa, no jameseya, na bavisa, na me bavisadi.
Noja asa, noja,
No
mechi.
jasa, no jameseya, na bavisa, na me bavisadi. It means if I do not exist, the property of I also not exist. Is something like that. That meaning. Actually, I checked another sutta. It means in like ucheda ditti. But yeah, if it's ucheda ditti, but in the Sodapati mega moment, we already eradicated the ucheda ditti also, right? All the dittis.
We have to make sure whether all the deity or maybe they generally they just mention a deity is abandoned, right? But moment of a soda body mega, whatever deity it may be around you. But the point is sasada, sasada and ochida, right? Sometimes we may say, what about do we think like that? If a soda body mega abandons sasada deity,
So I don't know. I couldn't find this reference, but here it mentions if the bhikkhu understands this, he will cut off the Orambagya Sanyojana. So in this case, that means actually we already know the 5 Lord Sanyojana is for the Anagami Mega. But the Vucheda deity, then like this type of deity, what we learn is should be abandoned by the Sodapati Mega. So
can you tell me the source, the reference?
Kanda Sanaya the Navaga.
Pardon?
Kanda Sanaya the Navaga.
Okay.
Page number 45.
Samyutta Nikaya Khanda Ayadana. Page number 45.
Yes.
Okay. Sutta name can you tell me?
Udana Sutta.
Udana Sutta. Okay. I will read it. Okay.
Yeah.
And another source is a contradiction to that one.
So also in the the Sayadaw Nikaya is another sutta. Its name is Leya Sutta.
Pali Leya.
Yes. Also in the Sayadaw Nikaya.
The same. Okay. Okay. I will read it about that, and then I will discuss.
Okay. Thank you, Sayadaw.
I'll make it clear. Orambagya Sayojana, right?
Yeah.
And the point is whether it's deity already abandoned in the Sodapati Maga, why it is included in the Anagami, right?
Yes.
Okay, I will read it and tell you back.
Thank you, Sayadaw.
So, so let's go to page number 2 of the Bali. Page number 2 of the Dhammasaṅgaṇī Bali. Right. So, very sorry, no? You for maybe about 29 lectures, we just finished only one paragraph in the Dhammasaṅgaṇī. Actually, in brief, a kind of overview, with the overview, which you already know the whole Dhammasaṅgaṇī, right? So about the Jidovada Kanda, what are the contents, and also how they are arranged in the Jidovada Kanda. So For example, Kusala Dhamma first. Yeah, yeah. Like a Kusala Dhamma. Kusala Dhammas are enumerated starting from the Mahakusala up to the Lokottara Kusala. Okay, for in many pages in the Dhammasaṅgaṇī. After that, it goes to where? Akusala Dhamma. Because in the Madhika, you can see Kusala Dhamma first, Akusala Dhamma the second. And then after that, it goes to the Abhyagata Dhamma, right? Abhyagata Dhamma, Vibhaga, Kiriya, and then Rupa and Nibbana. So Vibhaga Kiriya also continue to explain in the Chittobhata Kanda, the section on the rising of consciousness. After that, in continuation of explanation for the Abhyagata Dhamma, it goes to the Rupa Kanda. Okay, the whole Rupa Kanda is devoted for the materiality, explanation of the materiality, uh, uh, one one group, two group, and so on. A group of one, a group of two, and so on. So in this way, the whole Rupa Kanda is devoted to the Rupa materiality. And then, but the Nibbana is not yet mentioned in detail in the Dhammasaṅgaṇī, just a little bit name. And then after that, the Nikhipa Kanda. So with the three, with this session, Chittobhata Kanda and the Rupa Kanda, two session, two chapter, two big chapter. It covers the whole Kusala Tika. Okay, it covers, it explains the whole Kusala Tika. Kusala Dhamma, Vyagata Dhamma, Akusala Dhamma, Vyagata Dhamma. And then for the remaining Tikas, 22, and also 100 Dukkha, and then 30, 42 Suttantika Dukkha. So there should be one chapter, because they cannot explain as much as in detail as possible, like a Kusala Tika. So that's why they put all the things unexplained or not yet explained in the Nikhipa Kanda. And then give a brief overview of the every Tika, Dukkha, okay, also Suttantika Dukkha. And then the last chapter, in the last chapter, living inside the Suttantika, uh, uh, the Tika and Dukkhas are collectively explained as an exposition, as they call Atthagata Kanda. So in this way, we can bear in mind that the whole overview of the Dhammasaṅgaṇī is like that. So after that, after knowing the overview of the Dhammasaṅgaṇī, so we pay attention to the every entity of the content in the Chittobhata Kanda first. So in the Chittobhata Kanda, it as you know, it begins with the Mahakusala Citta. So it starts with the what? The first Mahakusala Citta. Okay. Somnada Sagada, Jnana Sambhayutta, Asankharika, and then what? Yeah, Mahakusala Citta. So when it arises, so in the past paragraph, the Buddha explained it. The Buddha mentioned all the dhammas that okay, arise together with the past Mahakusala Citta. 56 dhammas they are enumerated, okay, and also Yivapanaka dhammas are also included there. So according to the commentary, we can understand that there are nine Yivapanaka dhammas. Okay, so because they are put into the Yivapanaka dhamma because they cannot arise all the time. And, they cannot arise all the time. Pasama kusala citta arise. Only when the conditions are provided, they will participate. So that's why it is put in the Yivapanaka Dhamma. So that kind of enumeration is called Uddesa Vada, Dhammudesa, enumeration of a Dhamma that arise together with the Bhasma Kusala Chitta. Okay. After the after the brief enumeration, so it should be followed by the detailed description. Okay, detailed description of the each Dhamma. So starting from the paragraph number 2, or the Dhammasaṅgaṇī Bali, there you may see what Kadamo Dasmai Samaye Paso Hodi, right? Your Dasmai Samaye Paso Pusana, Sampusitadan, Ayan Dasmai Samaye Paso Hodi. Uh, so in this way, so all the 56 Dhammas will be described in detail, starting from the paragraph number 2 up to where? Up to paragraph number up to the paragraph number 57. Okay, up to paragraph number 57. Yeah, our keyboard there you can find. So very easy way is 56 is the Dhamma, enumeration of a Dhamma. Okay, 56 Dhammas are detailed description, or the 56 paragraphs are detailed description for the each Dhamma that pertains to the arising or the first Mahakusala Jeta. The first paragraph is the brief enumeration of the each Dhamma. Okay, in this way you can easily recognize 56, 57 paragraphs are there will be. Okay, or the first Mahakusala Jeta. So, then, in this lesson, you can study what? Uh, yeah, I make it. The word Nidisawara is here. Nidisawara. Again. Nidisawara. And move this one. Okay. Yeah, in order to make you remember, here, Bali, Dhammasaṅgaṇī Bali is quoted here. The Kadamo Dasme Samaye, Paso Hodi, Yo Dasme Samaye, Paso Pusana, Sampusitadam, Ayan Dasme Samaye, Paso Hodi. Okay, so that is just to remind you that we are going to work on it. So there, if you read Adasalini, so you will know that Adasalini first explain how to translate the question. The question is here. Kadamo Dasamay Samaye Paso Hodi. The meaning of it, or the translation, right? Word by word translation, or word for word translation. So how to translate? This is Pali question sentence you just found. At that time, you have to also remember the context. Okay, the context. In the pasa rises in which context? Okay, in which context? So the context is the context in which Mahakusala, the first Mahakusala Jeta arises. Okay, so we have to. So commentator explained that when we are asked to translate this one, Kadamo Dasme Samaye Paso Hodi, out of maybe you someone pick up this paragraph and then ask you to explain alone without preceding paragraph number 1. So in that case, you have to say what? You have to add. Yeah, I'm trying to simplify that. At a certain time, there arise the three-rooted unprompted. Three-rooted midi hetuka, unprompted asankharika, sensual kamavajara, more kusala consciousness, chitta, which arises together with the pleasant feeling, somnasa sagadam. Okay, So that it is said that at the time content arise. So what is that content? So the translation is like that. According to commentary, commentator suggests you to translate it like that whenever you find this kind of word. Kadamodas means samaye or kadamadas means samaye vedana or the, okay, whether every paragraph, okay, up to the 57, paragraph number 57. So whenever the question you found it, you have to remember that by the time Magusala Jeda, first Magusala Jeda arises, there arises a pasa. What is that pasa? Kadamodas may samayi paso. What is the Vedana? Okay, Sanya also. So the way it is the way to be applied. So that is the point. Uh, what commentator is playing here in this paragraph. What you mean? Not this one. Oh, here. Paragraph number, page number 180 or the expositor. Here the meaning of this question. Okay. It has been said that on that occasion when the main so this, in this way, the meaning of all the following questions should be considered. Okay. The way to translate Kadamo das means samaye paso, Kadama das means samaye vedana, and so on, right? So this is the method given by the commentary. Okay, another one. After that, what did they do? After explanation of this one, so uh, they are mentioned what is it? Paso. So as you see in the Dhammasaṅgaṇī Pali, your dasame samaye paso pusana, sampusana, sampusitata. Okay, with the forward. Okay, for paso, pusana, sampusana, sampusitata. So, so these four words, the meaning of the four words are, explained here a little bit. So that which on that occasion is the content revert to the pedodachi. The word in its simple form. The word in its simple form expresses the intrinsic nature of a touch. So the Pali word is that idam pasasa sabawa divanado sabawa badhanama. Intrinsic nature of a touch. Okay. Here, simple form. Okay, number there are 2 points to note it. The word pasa. So number 2 here you can see without the aid of a preface or without the aid of a suffix. Okay. So that they go simple form. So, so with a simple form is explained in order to express what? The intrinsic nature of a touch. So here also a note, footnote is very good because it shows the intrinsic nature of a touch free from figure of speech. Okay, this word implies in ultimate reality, sabhava bada. That is absence of a living entity. So this explanation is taken from the Anuddhika. So I think you all know that in the Dhammasaṅgaṇī there is a commentary. It is a called what Panchapakarana Atthakatha. Ah, Dhammasaṅgaṇī there is some what Athasalini Atthakatha. Okay, uh, and also on that Athasalini Atthakatha there will be are two sub-commentary. One is Muladika, another is Anudika. Okay, Muladika and Anudika. Muladika appear first. After that, Anudika follows. So, so in the Anudika, so the translation refers to the Anudika, absence of a living entity. Okay. So here I would like to explain you a little bit about this on writing uh, here. So here quotation is that Paso pasasa sabawa dipana do sabawa badanama. Okay. So with the word the damn phasa the Buddha used as a paso is pasasa sabawa dipanado, which express the nature of a phasa. That's why it is called Sabhava Veda. So the Buddha said that much. But in the comment, that this is what the Buddha said is a first soul only. Commentator explained because it is called Sabhava Veda. Because it just indicates its intrinsic nature. So here the question arises: what does it Sabhava Veda means? Okay. Uh, According to Muladiga here on the page number 94, Muladiga explained and also Anudiga also explained. Anudiga explanation is on the page number Anudiga Chadasaṅgaṇā edition, page number what? 102 there. So just now you have a see in the footnote or the expositor. They mention what? Nejiva. So there should be two G. Nejiva, bhava, vibhava, do. Sabhava nedi sonama. So when the Anudiga explain the word mentioned in the Muladiga, the Anudiga trying to simplify with this word, Nejiva. Nejiva means without living entity. Jiva means a living entity. Nejiva means without living any living entity. Bhava state of having uh, no living entity. And also vibhava do it indicates, okay, because it indicates of the state of having no living entity. That's why it is a goal of what? Sabhava Veda. So in the Muladika, it explained that it emphasizes its own nature. Okay, the word paso. When the Buddha gave the explanation for the word, Kadamodas Mesamaye Paso Hodi. Okay, then the Buddha just simply use Paso. Yodas Mesamaye Paso with this word. So it emphasizes its own nature, not the different function. Okay, not the function. So here, so when you study the word, maybe you can have a look on the paragraph number 6 of the Pali, Dhammasaṅgaṇī Pali. Okay, paragraph number 6. There you can find what Kadamanda Samay Samaye Chaitan Hodi. Yandasme Samaye Chaitan Mano, something like that you found. Okay, here I just pick up two words, Chaitan and Mano. So the function of a Chaita and the function of a Mano, even though they refer to only consciousness, but since the word change, its function, the function of that ultimate reality also the change. We can say actually they are the same, but they emphasize on the different thing. So here also you see Jada Aramanan Jindidi Jitam. So think about the object. That's why it is called Jita. But the mano, what does it do? Mano. Manad, Minadi Wiyadi, mano. So it is like a balance. Okay? Like a balance. So uh, with the mind, we try to balance. We try to balance things and conditions and people and everything. So that's why the function of a uh, different function of consciousness is expressed in this word Jeda and Mano. So such a emphasis is not given here in the Phasa. So by explaining Phasa as a Phasa. Okay. So also the emphasis is not giving to the different word mano and manasam. Okay, the word mano and manasam. So in the same paragraph number 6 on the Dhammasaṅgaṇī. So when the Buddha talk about the Jaitam, Mano, Manasam, okay. So what form is a change? Okay, what formation is a change? So that kind of a word formation or different word forms are also not given uh, to emphasize. So in the case of the Phasa, that's why it is called Sabhava Vada. So also no special what uh, attribute. Okay, so attributes or maybe it's the same thing may have a different attributes. Okay, to take a simple and obvious things. So the Buddha has a different many attributes. Okay, so we can emphasize on the different attributes of the Buddha. So also maybe Loba also has a different attributes. Okay, so here in the same paragraph number 6, what does explain? Chedam Pandaram. Okay, Chedam Mano Manasam Harayam Pandaram. Bandara means what? White. Okay. So the different attributes is emphasized. Give an emphasis is given on the different attributes of the same thing. Such a kind of emphasis is also we cannot get in the Phasa. So by the because the Buddha just explained Phasa as a Phaso only. So that's why the commentator explained that it is a Sabhava Vada. Sabhava Vada means without adding any color or without adding any other emphasis on in the case of a function or attributes or base or location or position, possession, and so everything, but itself. So it emphasizes on its own nature. So that is called Sabhava Vada. So if you read the Athas Muladiga on the page number 94, Anudiga page number 102, so they're trying to explain about what does the Sabhavavada means. So also here, not as a special base. So it emphasizes on its own nature, but not on the special base. Not special location. Here explain that the Chedasik and Sadam. Okay. Chedasik and Sadam means where? Chedasik and Sadam on the paragraph number 3 of the Dhammasaṅgaṇī. There you can find when the Buddha talk about the Vedana. Okay. Tajja mano vinyana dhatu sampasajam. Chedasik and Sadam. Okay. Chedasik and Sukham. So it means with the word Chedasika, what does it indicate is that it indicates it's a location, right? Or it's a base. That the sada, delightfulness, based on the what? Based on the Jeda, okay, Chedasika. So in this case of a pasa, such an emphasis is also not given. That's why uh, it is called the word paso is sabhava vada. Not a special moment. Chetasa titi. Titi means a rising moment. Okay. Ah, existing moment. Titi means existing moment. So such a kind of moments are also not emphasized in this word paso. And also not different or opposite manner of another dhamma, something like alobo, alobana. So when the Buddha talk about the word aloba, okay, uh, in order to make it clear, the Buddha used the uh, opposite nature of the loba, okay, so like alobana, okay. So such a indicating such an explanation indicating the opposite nature of its own, uh, opposite nature of another dhamma. So it's not giving just phasa as a phasa. That's why when they go to explain that without preface or without surface, without modification, uh, and in a simple way it explained. That's why it's a called sabhava vada. Okay, so so that is the way in the Mula Diga and Nudiga explained what does the sabhava vada means. Okay. Uh, So because a commentator, they have to explain the damn Sabhavavada because Athasalini exposed explain that what idam pasasa sabhava divanado sabhava badanama. With that what they keep on explaining. So another thing is Pusanagaro, Pusanadi Pusanagaro. Okay, Pusana. Agara means a manner. It emphasize only on the manner of a pasa. And then another one is a sampusana. Sampusana by adding preface. Okay, some preface to the word pusana. So addition of the preface. Pusana karo upasagina badan wudidawa hodo. So the word sampusana is said by what? uh, having increased by means of the upasara or preface sum. And then the word the sampusitata. They are talking about the same thing, but here emphasis is a what? State of touching, well touching. So sampusita bhava. So here also the commentator explained that how to explain, how to translate. Okay. We can simply say that how to how to go in the serial order or the word, the Pali word. When you are giving, when you are translating word for word, when you are giving translation uh, from Pali word to the Myanmar or any other language, but you the way you have to follow is given here. Okay. Your dasme samaye pusanaga wasena paso. And then after that, ya dasme samaye pusana. Ya dasme samaye sampusana. Yan dasme samaye sampusidata. Okay. Ayan dasme samaye paso hodi. We have to end up with this. Because in the Pali word, your dasme samaye paso, that's the one word. Your dasme samaye, we have to repeat again and again. uh, Repeat it for the each word. Your dasme samaye paso hodi. One time. And then your dasme ya dasme samaye pusana hodi. Because Savanamabada should follow. So your is indefinite article. Okay. That is how to say indefinite pronoun. So it should follow what? The gender or the word it modified. So that's why your, yeah, we have to change. Yodasme Samaye Paso Hodi, Yadasme Samaye Pusana Hodi, Yadasme Samaye Sampusana Hodi, and then Yandasme Samaye Sampusita Dan Hodi, like this we have to add, we have to join, you have to translate with the extra words. So finally we go to where? Ayandasme Samaye Paso Hodi, Ayan is a definite article, definite pronoun. So at that time, this kind of a pasa arises. Okay, so that is the way, the formal or classical way of a word for word translation is given in the commentary. Okay, we can understand that this is the formal or classical way of interpretation or translation. So, so go to another one. Okay, another explanation is that Ayambana eta sabha sadharana vibhati vinichayo. So this is also, I think we have discussed a little bit about this. So when you follow this Dhammasaṅgaṇī, throughout this Dhammasaṅgaṇī, you will find this way of analysis. Okay, uh, and also we have to keep in mind this three way of analysis. Uh, the Buddha here also in this first, second paragraph, the Buddha used for the pasa, pusana, sampusiddhata, like that. So, if we understand one time, then if you understand this way of analysis, then you can apply for the Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, everything, it follows. Okay, so that's why we have to keep in mind this point. So what can be analyzed? So I summarize this explanation here. So after that, you may read with the Atasalini, and then uh, you may understand more. So for now, we will go through this. What can be analyzed in three ways. Tayo Vibhati. Okay, we have to analyze in three ways. Uh, So Dani Vibhadenga Chandani Dihi Garane Vibhadenga Chandi. In three ways we can analyze. Okay, every word. So here number one is a Byanjana Vasena. Byanjana means what? By means of the word we analyze. Okay. Here in this context, what you can find is a Paso and Pusana. Okay, Paso Pusana. So what form is the change? Paso just simply the word pasa. Kusana is the root fus, and then the surface is a change, and the paso the word is fus and the surface. And the pusana the word the root is what fus, but the surface is a na or you can change. So in this way, what form is the form of the word is a change. So that they call Byanjanapada. What form is the change? So here also commentator and the commentary Atasalini gives that Kodo Kujana Kojidada. Okay. Uh, even though you understand that this word Koda Koja, it derived from the same root, but the word forms are changed. Okay, according to different surface, different surfaces. Okay, and also Kojida, so it became a what? Kojida dam, it became a what? Tadi Dabada, Okida Bada, and so. So that they go what the way the analysis by way of the was. Janjana Wasena. So also doso dosana dosidada. Okay. Then another way of explanation is what analysis is that Upasaka Wasena by means of adding different preface. Okay, by means of the different preface. So here for the phasa you can see what the word phasa is joined with the prefix sam. Okay, prefix is sam. Sampusana it became. So also in the another word, for example, vidaga, vichara, and so on, there is being what? As in jaro, vicharo, anu vicharo. Okay, jaro is a very simple form. Vichara with the prefix we. Anu vichara with the two prefix, anu plus we plus. And then upa vicharo, and then upa plus, we plus. So in this way, the word is analyzed by adding what are different prefixes. So that is also one way of analysis that we can find throughout this Dhammasaṅgaṇī. And then the last one is Atha Vasena, the meaning, by means of the meaning change. So here Sampusana, so Pasa, Sampusana, and Sampusiddham. So the state, the state of what? The state of attaching to that point. Not merely touching, but the state of attaching. So it will be clear with this following example. What? As in bandagem, okay? Bandagem, Kosalan, Nebonyam, Vibabia, where it is that? From where? Maybe you can see in the Banyandariya. Where paragraph number 16 on the Dhammasaṅgaṇī, in the Dhammasaṅgaṇī, paragraph number 16 about the Banyandariya. So when the Buddha talked about the Banyandariya, so the Buddha used Bandejam, Kosalan, Nebunyam, Vivavya, Jainda, Upabreka, Buri, and so on. They are these was the different. They are these words are provided by indicating different meaning of the words, different meaning of the term panya. Okay, panya, state of being skillful. So bandejam, kausalam, cleverness. Okay, nibunyam, nibuna, maturity, and so on. So it indicates the different meaning of the word panya. Okay. So in this manner also, there you can find in this way throughout the Dhammasaṅgaṇī, three ways of analysis we can apply throughout the Dhammasaṅgaṇī. Okay, so whenever you read the Bali Dhammasaṅgaṇī Bali, you will find them very similar. They are quite similar, but they are different. So we have to recognize, oh, this is different by means of the Vyanjana. This is different by means of the Upasaka. This is different because by means of the Atha. Okay? So this way we have to analyze. And then another way, a word can also be differentiated in four ways. Okay? The different, how a word, even a word, become a different. Okay? How a what? For example, the word khanda, how they become a five. Okay. For example, for the samapparana, how do they become a four? Satipatthana, how do they become a four? Okay. So in that case, here, a commentator provide uh, the reason for the being different. Okay. So they are the dhammas they become different in terms of the nama nada because they just have a different name. That's why what happened? They become different. They are having different name. That's why they are different. Here also what? Maybe they may be referring to the same name, but because they are using the different terms, different name. So here what? As in Gadamo, that's me, Samayi, Vyabado, Hodi. Okay, and that is maybe in the Agusala, okay, Dosa Mula chapter, that is a little bit far away from here. Amanda Dwadasa Agusala Jeta, Dasa Akusala, Katamo Dasme Same, Vyabado Dozo, paragraph number 148 and 149. They talk about the Buddha explain what about the dosa and vyabada. Paragraph number Dhammasaṅgaṇī paragraph number 418. Okay, 418, 419. Okay, so there you can see Kadamo Dasme Samaye Vyabado. Your Dasme Samaye Doso Dosana. Vyabada is used in the different time, the dosa. Okay, or sometimes they use a coda. So that is because of having different name to the same time. So that's why also because they have a different terms, they are used in a different time. That's why they are different from one another. The difference you can find it. And also another thing is Lakanda Nanada because they have a different characteristics. Characteristics. For example, here in the commentary also giving. When you say about the Khanda is the one, okay? Khanda is the one in the sense of a what? Group, in the sense of a heap, in the sense of the aggregate. Khanda is the one, whatever it may be, either Rupa or Vena or Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. They remain under the name of the Khanda because they work in a group. So, but according to their characteristics, they become a five. Okay, Rupa has a different function. Robana Lakana, Vedana Virida Lakana, uh, Sanjanana Lakana, and so they have a different function. That's why they become a different. From 1 to 5, it become. So, Kejana Nada, another thing is the different function. They have a different function. That's why they become, they may be one in other medicines, but because they are having different functions, that's why they become different. Like a Samabharana, as you know, Chatara Samabharana, Upanana, Babagana, Bhanaya, Vayama, to abandon. So one effort is that do abandon or to eradicate the and the horse and dharma that has arisen. Okay, Upanana, Babagana, Bahanaya, and then Anupanana, Babagana, Anubadaya, to prevent. That effort is a preventing effort. Another, the first one is to abandon the effort. And also what Anupanana, Kusalana, Ubadaya, Vayamo, that is producing Ubadaya, producing effort. And then the last one is what? Piyo Bhavaya, developing, okay, making more and more, developing effort. So in this way, effort only one is a characteristics, but they have a different function. So that's why it become a form. So that's why also we have to keep in mind. And also padekeba. Padekeba means what? Uh, Destroying or destructive force. Padekebadi means throw away. Okay? Padekebadi you throw away. You throw something away. So here padekeba nanada. Sometimes you want to throw away dust, maybe rubbish. Sometimes you take it, you pick up, and then you go by yourself. Sometimes you ask another people. Okay, so the same function is throwing away, but because with the different person, by means of different person, with a different tool. Sometimes you burn up. Okay, sometimes you throw into the water. Sometimes you bury it. Okay, sometimes you put into the somewhere else. So in this way, the way you throw away is different. That's why uh, also the dhamma become different. So here, Padikhiva Nanada, in the case of Padikhiva Nanada, the commentator quoted the Buddha's word from the Asadhamma. Okay, Asadhamma. So there are four Asadhamma. Asadhamma means what? Sadhamma is a noble person, virtuous person. Asadhamma is a wicked. Asadhamma Dhamma. Asadhamma is the what? Wicked Dhamma. Wickedness. Okay, the evil Jada or bad Jada. So there, naturally, we pay respect to the Dhamma. Okay, but when one of these things when one of these four things are influenced, or we are influenced by this one of four things, like like a what? Koda. So Koda Garuda means what? We are heavily influenced by the anger. Okay, by the anger. Our in that case, we will not pay much respect to the Dhamma, to even the Buddha. Even when we encounter with the Buddha, we may do whatever we like because we are angry. Okay, so sometimes you get angry very seriously. Even your father come and say, "No, please stop, calm down." You don't follow. Okay, you are not obedient. You will not be able to be obedient even to your parents or to the senior cousins, much less to say to be obedient to your friend. So that's why. So because of what? Why? Because our mind is influenced, heavily influenced by the order, anger. Mekha means what? Actually, mekha means smearing. Mekhadi means smearing. You try to smear uh, uh, another person's goodness or virtue or whatever. Uh, Maybe someone is a very good, very great. You try to find the weak point in order to destroy his fame, okay? His fame, his virtue, his name, everything. So when we are influenced by this kind of a mind mentality of a smearing, then that is we will not pay respect to anyone, will not be obedient to anyone or any person. So that's also one of the wicked dhamma, okay, wicked theme. Then lava, gain, sagara, honor. So when we are influenced by the gain, so very much a problem. So uh, we have a where we have had a story. Maybe it is from the Jataka stories about the lizard, about a lizard. So there is a lizard at the gate of a palace. I think you remember. You can imagine the insect as it is like a what? Uh, it is like a small crocodile. Actually, not crocodile. It's no harmful, no harm. It's no harmful to anyone. They usually live in a home or maybe at home, maybe very close to the human being. So small lizard. So in the story, there is a lizard who live at the gates of the palace. Whenever the king goes out of the palace, the lizard go down to the ground and then bow down maybe three times. Okay, maybe he's like this. He knock his head, uh, not his head, by as a token of a pay respect to the king. So the king every day, whenever he pass by, he see this obedient or humble lizard, the man of a humble lizard. That's why The king appreciated so much. And then the next day, the king ordered his beaver. Okay, this you see, this lizard, small lizard, is a very obedient and also pay respect to the king. So that's why I want to reward him with a small ring, maybe like a finger ring or whatever ring. Okay, then okay, according to this order of the king, the people they try to reward uh, with a golden ring. So they put it on the neck of the what on the leg of the lizard. So starting from next day, that lizard don't come down whenever, even though the king goes there, go come in and goes out. Okay, from the out of the palace or come into the palace, they don't. That lizard never go down, much less to be respected to the king. What happened? Because influenced by the lava. Okay, he was influenced. That the lizard is influenced by the what game. So that's also a big problem we have to keep in mind. As an ordinary person in our life, we may have such a um, bad influence or misuse of our game. Also, Sakara, maybe you are honored by many people. So sometimes, maybe in your country or wherever you are, you are very famous. Suppose you become very famous later. Maybe you may maybe every one of you become famous in your country, or maybe as a preacher, or as a meditation master, or whatever, in whatever manner. So other die. So maybe suppose I come to you, I visit to you. Even though you see me, you will not be respect me as a teacher, because you are influenced. You are heavily influenced by the honor of the people. Okay, so that's also happened. Okay, uh, in a Jataka story also there may be a kind of there is a what there is a farmer, a little farmer, small, maybe young boy. So while he was going around the lake or around the river, he saw a kind of how to say the bird. I don't remember how to call his name. How to call it? Maybe with a long neck and it fishing. Uh, it trying to wait uh, in order to catch the fish with a long neck and long leg and also long uh, long mouth. I suppose we can say. So maybe there's something like a swan, but not a swan. So whenever that kind of a bird get a fish, he don't eat that bird don't eat it directly. He trying to put up into the air and then trying to go around and then trying to catch. Okay, in this way, uh, every day that bird, that water bird, maybe we can say water bird, is doing like this. So the boy nearby goes around there, study the way he do it. Again, trying to the way how the bird catch the flying fish, okay, in a clever manner. And also, firstly, maybe he may practice with the fruit or maybe with the stick. Later on, he became a very clever even in playing with the spear. Spear means a very sharp, pointed edge, a kind of weapon with a sharp, pointed edge. So even he throw away into the air, and then he can catch with the mouth. without hurting any part of his body. So in this way, one day he became a very clever, very clever. What happened? Then even the king came to know about his scheme. Then one day he was invited to the palace, and in the palace, he was asked to show exhibition, or maybe show. So one man show is there. Maybe he tried to show his ability. People are applauding, and he got a big applause. Okay, big applause. And then later, finally, at the end of the festival or show, the king asks, "Ah, you are so clever. Where did you learn? Where did you get that kind of a skill?" Okay, he was a very he want to tell the way he got this knowledge, but he is afraid of that. If I tell the king, if I tell the truth that I learned from the water bird, okay, water bird, then water bird. So then the king will underestimate, will look down upon me. So big, and also if he look down upon me, I will not get any honor from the king or from the people. Or, so in that way, that's why what he cheat the king. He tell a lie or he conceal his master. No, I learn by myself. So that is a big problem. Okay, because of the sakara also, we can be blind to the goodness. We can be blind to the nobility. So this is one of the story connected. The point here is how the dhammas are different in a different manner explained. Uh, so whenever you found that the same dhamma but in a different manner explained, then you can understand that they are different in terms of the meaning, in terms of the characteristics, in terms of the function, in terms of the different destructive force. Uh, and then in terms of the what becoming a different tool for the destruction. Okay, so these are also four ways we can understand. Then the last what time is it? Oh, sorry. Maybe we will continue to on another day. Thank you so much for your listening.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Sayadaw.
Sayadaw.
Thank
Okay,
you,
Sayadaw.
Dhammasaṅgaṇā.
okay,
Thank you,
bye.
Sayadaw.
Namo Buddha Sasana Jiran Buddha Sasana Jiran Buddha Sasana Jiran Buddha Sasana Jiran Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May you be healthy.
Thank you, Sayadaw.
Okay.
Same
Mexico,
to
how?
you. Same to you.
Hey, Sayadaw.
Over there, very good.